Real Madrid have produced one of their worst-rated home shirts ever. Bayern Munich somehow turned an Oktoberfest kit into an abstract painting. Borussia Dortmund are wearing purple. And Newcastle took one of the most iconic shirts in English football and turned it into a barcode. Every year, football clubs release dozens of new kits. Some become instant classics, some sell out immediately, and some make you wonder how an entire room full of designers looked at the exact same shirt and every single person said, yeah, that's the one, because the 2026-2027 season has already given us some absolute disasters. We've got camouflage kits, shirts that look unfinished, and a Premier League kit completely ruined by one gigantic sponsor. So today we're going through the worst football kits released this season, and trust me, they get worse. We're starting with Fulham, and apparently somebody at Adidas looked at Fulham Football Club and thought, you know what this needs? Neon pink. The official description says the shirt has a light blue base with striking pink accents. That's certainly one way of putting it. The Adidas stripes are pink, the badge is pink, the sponsor is pink. Basically everything they could possibly make pink, they made pink, and then they paired it with baby blue. The whole thing looks like somebody melted cotton candy and turned it into a football kit. It looks less like something Fulham should be wearing and more like something you'd unlock for your pro club's character after reaching level 50. And apparently I'm not alone. On Football Kit Archive, it currently sits around 2.4 out of 5, making it one of the lowest rated Premier League kits this season. I don't completely hate it, but Fulham wearing this? I don't know, 5 out of 10. Next up, Norwich. Now, Norwich themselves describe this as a purple lilac and mint 90s inspired pattern, which sounds pretty cool until you actually see it. This looks like the seat pattern from a bus built in 1997. You've got purple, mint, and random lighter shapes going in every direction, and somehow, despite using 3 completely different colors, none of them look good together. Then you turn it around and somehow it gets worse, because right at the top of the back, they've slapped on this massive sponsor that looks completely out of place. As if the shirt wasn't already busy enough. Apparently, it needed a billboard on the back too. The funny thing is, I can understand exactly what they were going for. Retro. Different. Something you'd wear away from football. But there's a difference between being inspired by the 90s and looking like you've been trapped there. Maybe it'll grow on me. Right now, 4 out of 10. And here's where things start getting weird. This is Stoke City's away kit. Yes, that is camouflage. But there's actually a pretty cool reason behind it. The shirt is inspired by Reginald Mitchell and the Spitfire, with the green camouflage based on early Spitfire paint schemes. So, conceptually, I actually love this. It's local history. It means something to the club, and it's way more interesting than getting another generic template. There's just one problem. It still looks like a camouflage football shirt, and then you turn it around, and the camouflage basically disappears. The entire back is plain gray. It's like they ran out of ink halfway through production, and somehow the shorts don't make things any better. They're almost entirely gray with just a little bit of camouflage running down the sides. So awful. And Football Kit Archive users clearly aren't convinced either. This is currently the lowest rated championship kit on the site this season. Great story. Great inspiration, horrible execution, but I'm giving them points for actually trying something different. 5.5 out of 10. Now this one came completely out of nowhere. Le Monc's traditional red and yellow. How bad could it possibly be? Apparently, very bad. Because when I first found this shirt, Football Kit Archive users had it sitting below 1.8 out of 5, one of the lowest ratings on the site ever. And even now, it's hovering around that same range. But I will give them this. They're really leaning into the whole League One McDonald's thing. The league is literally called League One McDonald's. And Le Mans have shown up dressed entirely in red and yellow. At this point, all they're missing is the golden arches, but even ignoring that, just look at it. Thick yellow stripe, thin yellow stripe, red stripe, Adidas shoulder stripes, green sponsor in the corner, huge white sponsor in the middle. There's just stuff everywhere. It's like every company involved with the club demanded their own section of the shirt, and individually, none of it is horrific. Put everything together? Complete visual traffic jam. This might be one of the lowest rated kits in the entire video. 3 out of 10. Borussia Dortmund, one of the most recognizable color combinations in football, yellow, black, simple. So naturally they made the third kit purple. The new Puma shirt uses a bright neon purple base with fluorescent yellow detailing. And then right in the middle, you have that giant red Vodafone logo. Purple, yellow, red, black, white. We've got the entire Crayola box involved now. Football Kit Archive users weren't exactly convinced either. When I checked, it was sitting around 2.36 out of 5 with nearly 700 votes, and I think the sponsor is what kills it. Cover the giant red circle, and suddenly, honestly, not that bad. Put it back, there it is. But you know what? Dortmund fans should be used to finishing second to Bayern Munich by now, because somehow, even in a video about the worst kits of the season, Bayern still managed to beat them. We'll get to that disaster later. For Dortmund, 4 out of 10. This might be the most surprising shirt on the entire list, because this doesn't look that bad. It's Real Madrid, it's white, it's clean. So why is it here? Because more than 3,000 Football Kit Archive users have rated this shirt, and it's sitting at just 2.45 out of 5, one of the lowest rated Real Madrid shirts on the entire site. And I think I know why. Real Madrid have basically been releasing the same home kit season after season. Start with a plain white Adidas shirt. Change the color of the stripes and accents and call it a day. One year it's gold, another year it's purple, another year it's black. This year, dark green around the collar and sleeves, and then pink Adidas stripes across the shoulders. Those colors are intentional. The club says the detailing was inspired by the diamonds and pearls in the crown of Real Madrid's crest. Interesting idea, but green, pink, white. This looks like Real Madrid got sponsored by a watermelon. And that's the problem when you've got one of the most iconic shirts in football. There's obviously only so much you can change. But at some point, swapping out the accent color every summer starts to feel less like a new design and more like changing the settings on the same template. And Madrid home kits have such a high standard that even something that's merely okay feels disappointing. Personally, I don't think this deserves a 2.45, but classic Madrid? Absolutely not. 5 out of 10. Newcastle should be one of the easiest clubs in world football to design for. Black, white, vertical stripes, done. So, why does it look like this? The stripes are split into all these tiny, uneven sections that make the entire shirt look like it's vibrating. From a distance, it's almost normal, then you get closer, and your eyes start buffering, and honestly, the kit feels pretty fitting for Newcastle right now because it's been about as good as their off-season, a disastrous transfer window, key players leaving, a coaching change, and after all of that, this is the shirt they get to come back to. Even Nick Voltamata is modeling it after a pretty mediocre season of his own, so I guess they picked the right guy. Football Kit Archive currently has it around 2.3 out of 5 after more than 800 votes, making it the second lowest rated Premier League kit on the site right now. And that's the frustrating part. You didn't need to reinvent anything. Newcastle have one of the most iconic shirt designs in England. Just give them stripes. But apparently Adidas decided the stripes needed Wi-Fi interference. 3.5 out of 10. Alright, now we're entering serious territory because this is currently sitting around 1.9 out of 5 after nearly 500 votes. And somehow, I think the rating might be fair. Freiburg's colors are red and white, again, very difficult to mess up. Instead, Nike gave them these super thin red vertical lines, randomly interrupted sections, a giant black sponsor box, and enough empty white space to make the whole shirt look unfinished. It genuinely looks like the printer stopped working, and the sponsor doesn't help. You have this lightweight red and white pattern, then boom, giant black rectangle. It's like someone pasted a YouTube censor bar across the middle of the shirt, but then you turn it around, and apparently even Nike gave up on the stripes, because most of the back is just solid red. The stripes basically disappear across the entire upper section, then randomly come back near the bottom. So from the front, it looks like the printer was running out of ink, and from the back, it looks like they just stopped printing altogether. Maybe it looks better on the pitch. But in photos, this is rough. 3 out of 10. Okay, I know I said these were getting worse, but I wasn't prepared for this, and that's especially disappointing because Bayern's Oktoberfest kits are usually some of their best. Every year you get something a little different, something classy, something that actually feels special. And then there's this. Now I should say, this is still a leak. The kit hasn't been officially confirmed yet. So Bayern, if you're watching this, there's still time, please. Change it because the leaked Oktoberfest design has a black base covered in a huge multicolored abstract pattern, and I have one question. Why? It looks like somebody took a normal Bayern shirt, dropped it into a paint factory, and then drove over it. Green, orange, blue, yellow, red, white. There isn't a square inch of this thing where something isn't happening, and because you've got the giant white telecom logo sitting right in the middle, it somehow gets even busier. I genuinely can't decide whether this is one of the ugliest Bayern kits I've ever seen or so ridiculous that it's actually incredible. And remember Dortmund from earlier? They somehow managed to finish second to Bayern again, even in a worst kits video, because imagine Harry Kane scoring a Champions League hat-trick wearing this. You'd remember it forever, so for being ugly, terrible. 2 out of 10. And number 1, Bournemouth, which is frustrating because the actual shirt isn't bad. Traditional red and black stripes, gold details. There's even a subtle pattern in the red sections inspired by Bournemouth's original 1936 crest. Pretty nice, and then you look down, what is that? That is the sponsor, a gigantic bright pink vitality circle placed directly in the middle of the shirt. It doesn't blend in, it doesn't match anything. It doesn't even pretend to be part of the design. It looks like somebody finished the entire jersey, opened Photoshop, accidentally dragged a PNG onto it, and just left it there. And the worst part? This isn't just a problem with the home kit, because Bournemouth have used the exact same giant pink sponsor on all 3 of their kits this season. Home, away, third, different colors, different designs, same giant pink circle slapped right in the middle. And the Football Kit Archive ratings tell you exactly how well that's gone. All 3 Bournemouth kits are sitting among the lowest rated shirts released this season. So at this point, it's not even a kit problem, it's a sponsor problem. The home shirt alone is sitting around 1.9 out of 5 after more than 750 votes, making it the lowest rated Premier League kit on the site. And the craziest part, look at the shirt without the sponsor. That's actually nice. And now it's ruined again. This might be the greatest example ever of a sponsor single-handedly destroying a football kit. 1.5 out of 10. And honestly, what a shame. So those are my picks for some of the worst kits of the 2026-2027 season, and somehow there are plenty more we didn't even get to. Tottenham Athletic Club, Real Madrid's pink third kit. Inter Stuttgart. And we're probably going to get another disaster released 5 minutes after this video goes live, but I want to know which kit is actually the worst. Because I'm still stuck between Bournemouth ruining 3 perfectly good shirts with one gigantic pink sponsor and Bayern turning their players into an abstract painting. Let me know which one you'd rank number 1, and more importantly, which kit did I completely disrespect?